Okay, so yeah, what up again? Kyle Kalinske is okay. Let me back up a step. Uh, it's I'm watching the Joe Rogan, Kyle Kalinske Secular Talks video of Joe Rogan being a total mind mush uh, freakazoid um, thing, and Joe Rogan just cannot wrap his head around how to handle uh, talking about um, this ICE shooting the woman thing. Um, because I think the main thing. This is my take on the Joe Rogan blah blah blah. I think he's trying to exist in two places almost, basically. He wants to stay in with, I don't know, the administration or whatever. He wants to stay in the in with MAGA, but probably he doesn't want to he doesn't want to have his daughters, because I think he has two daughters. He doesn't want to have his daughter go home and have his daughters be like, I caught part of your show, and it sounded like you were defending that guy murdering that woman. Because I'm betting his daughters are not going to look at that video and be like, yeah, he was totally justified in shooting her 3 times. Or maybe at least one of them. Because if he's got two daughters, maybe one of them will be like, yeah, that bitch deserved to die. But then the other one will be like, no, she didn't. Just to piss off the other daughter. Because that's how siblings are. Most of the time. Maybe they're buddy buddy, but eh. A lot of family and growing up together, and you can disagree with your brother or sister, just to disagree with them, just because it'll piss them off. You know it's right, but you'll be like, yeah, you're wrong, just because it'll piss them off. It's what you do as a brother or sister. Uh, at that age, at that teenagery, that 12, 13 to 17, 18 age. And at the same time, at that age, you disagree with your parents, either when your parents are wrong or just to piss them off. So, but, um, shit, hold on. That's what it was. And Joe Rogan, the other thing about this segment that he's doing is Joe Rogan is keeping talking about the doxing. And yeah, that's something that the right wing in particular, doesn't seem to understand that you can't dox somebody that isn't doxed. Like they that's like that's like you're saying like how to how to how to put it to someone. It's like I doxed the football play. I doxed the football team. Like what do you mean by that? What does that mean? I doxed your football team. I don't understand what the fuck you mean by that. All the stats are already out there. All the stats are out there. What do you have? Secret stats somewhere? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, unless the guy was doping or whatever they call it do they call it dosing? I don't know. Taking drugs, performance enhancing drugs, PEDs. Um, you can't dox someone when everything about them is already out in the public view. That's what ICE agents should be. Everything about them should already be out there as a matter of being civil servants, which is what they are. They are civil servants. So if you don't believe that, then my response to you as someone on the right wing is my response is exactly this. I can't wait for a Democrat or an independent to get elected as president and take control of ICE and say, what should I do with all of these ICE troopers? Because they're masked, and where should I put them? Because now he's got all these troopers with a mandate to blah, blah, blah. But, who cares? It doesn't. So it doesn't appear right now that they basically have any kind of restriction. So just wait for the administration to change, and a different president and administration can put them wherever. And if I may be a little forward looking, it's January right now. Hurricane season is 8-9 months away. If ICE is still around in 8 or 9 months, maybe they can use those guys to actually help with the fucking hurricanes. with all the bull crap, the cleanup and stuff during hurricanes. They're probably going to hit. I mean, are those guys going to be okay with doing a whole crap load of physical work that doesn't involve, you know, being a bully and beating the shit out of people and hitting people with pepper balls? So, yeah. Hitting pause, take a whiz, go get something to drink. Be right back. The train passed. I want to hit you with a tangent real quick. Um, there's a lot of Arab convenience store gas stations. I would say around here, but there's two that I know of, and then there's probably another one just down there. So I mean, there's not like a lot of convenience store gas. Well, so there's probably a lot around here, but there's not like a lot around here because there's not really a lot of anything around here. It's just, and you know, don't call me racist for calling them Arabs. It's just, it's kind of what they are. Middle Eastern, if you want to be like technical and diplomatic, Arabs. And I just wonder, how many different owners there are for these throughout the 50 United States. Because let's keep this in America. You know, if you're in Canada or wherever you are, just consider it. Because I've lived in Wisconsin and Arkansas, and it's basically the same. It's, you know, if you're a corporate chain gas station, there's basically white and black people working there with usually a white manager. If it's an independent gas station, it's like 99% chance Arab. But when I was in Arkansas, there were a couple gas stations that were black owned, and I I went into one of them. I didn't go into the other one. I knew it. Well, I guess I didn't know for sure that it was a black owned gas station, but I mean, like, the black ones, you kind of know because their name is not something like Quick Stop or or Gas or something. Their name is something like Billy Trey's Food and or something like that. I forget what the name of the one was in Arkansas, but it was fucking hilarious. I just was like, that is, I don't know, it was like Donnie Trey's, I don't know what the fuck it was. It was totally, it's just like, the name itself was like, that is a gas station. You just know it is. You like don't even have to go in. You just like know it is. And it's like, yeah. Think global, buy local. And I would have, but the cigarette shop they had cheaper prices. So, and you could only buy liquor at the liquor store. You can buy beer at other places. I don't drink beer. I don't drink anything anymore. But at that time, I only drank vodka, and you could not sell vodka without a very specific, most likely very expensive license. I don't know the particulars of the legal, but you had to get them at liquor stores. So, anyways, the point of all this, after all of this garbage that I just said, the point of all this is how many, say, families of Arabs own those independent gas station convenience stores, say 11,000 of those throughout throughout the United States, maybe 100,000. I don't know what the number is. How many families own those stores, the Arab ones? Is it hundreds? Is it tens? Is it like most of the time one guy owns one or two? So that basically if there's 50,000 independent convenience store gas stations, there might be maybe 10,000 independent owners. Because if there's substantially less than that, if there's something like a few hundred families that own those, I was just thinking as I walked back from getting what I needed to get from the one that's right over there. I was just thinking maybe that's a reason. Maybe that's one of the contributors to why America still has such an entrenched opinion about uh, internal combustion engine fossil fuels as cars. And we're so slow to adopt electric vehicles. And electrification, greening of the grid. I would say it's most likely because Republicans, uh, and the Republican ethos that tends to permeate rural communities, because rural communities are full of stupid. They have a they have there's a lot of there's a lot of like subtle reasons that just kind of creep into all of that. The giant overarching reason though is stupid Republicans. And you can modify it more by stupid rural Republicans. So stupid, big, fat, bulky, idiotic. I mean, rural Republicans. Stupid, big, fat, idiotic, rural, uneducated Republicans that like being that way. Anyways, whatever. I'm letting myself trail off. To be continued. So secular talk just talked about Bill Burr again and the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Blah. I care very little about that. So next. Well, you got in the last part another vet being very uh, pissed off at ICE. So just more video footage of people being pissed off at ICE. So I mean, it's just another day goes by and another bunch of crap going on of stuff happening. But oof. Oh, man, always some good stuff. And I ate. It was a good taco salad. So, anyways, taxi to Richie people. Kneecap with, at the end of the day, boobs. Boobs.